Thank you, Clive. I'd like to just hand you over now to Sandra Bogelein, is that how you pronounce it? Who's the Green Norwich City Councillor. If I just hand you to Sandra now.
Hello, thanks for being here and thanks for having me speak. I'm much less used to speaking in front of a lot of people, but I've come with not only bad news but with a plan. So I hope I can convince you of what we're supposed to do in the next few years. So I'll start with that after the 7th May, probably like many of you, I vanished in a brief post-election depression. And above all, I was so worried about the future of my little unborn boy. And I was so worried that he would come into a world that has changed so much, that has become cruel and unsupportive. A world where people are punished for being born in less fortunate circumstances, and others glorified and rewarded for being born privileged. Now, we're not going to become privileged in the next 4 months, so I thought I won't prevent this for little Sam by giving up in despair. The only way to prevent this for him is to start the fight back, right now and with all my strength. And so I've come up with this 5-step plan of our fight back. Step 1, most importantly, we need to change the story. If I've learned something in the years I've worked in psychology, it is that the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and in what kind of world we live, these stories are very powerful drivers in terms of any behavior, what we think we can do and what we actually do. So for years now, we have been told the most grim fairy tale about ourselves and our country by the government and those who want to make sure we get exactly paralyzed and depressed and vanish in that hole of depression and not challenge them. We've been told that we are a nation of selfish people, that we ought to make decisions and cast votes based on what is best for us. Even worse so, based on how we can supposedly avoid this devastating disaster that faces us. We have been told that we will all need to suffer in order to support the economy, that everyone's life has to become a bit hard and austerity is necessary. And we have been told that democracy ends at the ballot box, and we get to have an opinion on only 1 out of actually 1,824 days. So day after day, we've been told this depressing story until actually some of us started to believe it and vote Tories. It is time now we set things right and start telling the true story, which is actually an empowering story and a vision. As humans, we're not selfish. We care about each other. The ability to work together, cooperate, make decisions for the best of the group is ingrained in our evolution. It was and is one of the most important abilities for us to survive. We are not selfish, we're group animals, compassionate and caring, and we need to view ourselves as such and be appreciated and cherish it that we are actually cooperative beings. We also don't need to suffer. Now we need to be shouting from the rooftops. Austerity is not helping the economy, it's actually slowing the economy down. The most respected economists, amongst them Nobel Prize winners, have been trying to stop this government's ludicrous plans. We should have seen much faster growth after the recession, but actually austerity has not helped. It has stifled our economy. And we need to spread the word everywhere. We are actually supposed to have an opinion every single one of the 1,824 days between elections. Democracy does not end at the ballot box. That is where it starts. Democracy does not mean making a cross somewhere every 5 years. It means being engaged and active every single day of the year, and you've started today. You are engaged and you've made this a real democracy, not that fake crossing every 5 years. So this is the story we need to start telling ourselves and others. And believe me, if we spread it widely and if we tell it with passion and inspiration, and the government has been trying so hard to suppress us telling these true stories of who we are and what country we live in, because these powers will be strong and they will hit hard. So that is my step 1, the most important one, to change the story. Step 2, we need to be watchdogs. Watch your politicians, watch Clive, watch myself, watch us, what we vote for and our decisions. Demand that you be informed about how they represent you. They will try to be sneaky, smuggle invested interests or ideological nonsense. They will be tempted to follow the easy party whip and maybe cash in a promotion or two. This is not true for me because there are no promotion in local city councils, so you don't have to worry about that. But you need to watch them and ring the sirens if you see anything they should not be doing in your name. Remember, they're acting on our behalf. We need to be in contact with them, phone them, write to them, stand in front of their house, be on protest, all of it. And we need to get to those few staying Conservative MPs, and I think that is also crucial. And we need to make sure that they cannot justify in front of themselves to vote for these life-destroying cuts. Step 3, we need to be the demonstration of what it really means to be in this together. We need to show that no matter how much they're trying to play us against each other, or they're trying to make us blame each other, blame immigrants or unemployed, no matter how much they're trying to diffuse us and rattle our trust in each other, we will actually be standing in a line in front of them. We will be helping each other up again. We will stand in for each other and be there for our friends, neighbors, and the strangers on the street. Of amazing people here today, from the Claimants Union and the People Assembly and my friends in the Greens, and these people are standing up for others and fighting for the people who need help day to day. And these are the people you need in your life. They are actually the only security that is real. No money, no economy will guarantee anyone that they will be helped when they stumble. And that's exactly what these idiots don't get in Downing Street, that is what it really means to be in this together. So we're at step 4. We need to make it clear to the many Tory voters that they have a place in this fight too. We can't lose them. We need to make it clear to them that it's their responsibility and their duty to say to this government, not in our name. These people might have fallen for the doom stories. They might have been tricked into voting for this false sense of security. Whatever the reason they made this choice, it does not mean that their vote paralyzes them for the next 5 years and that they have to silently obey to all the nonsense that comes out of this government. No, they're actually the ones who can stand up and say, enough, this is not what I voted for. And we need to encourage them. We really need to encourage them to do that and to take them on board and amplify their voice. And finally, step 5. While we do all this, step 1 to 4, we need to be loud and visible. We are the guardians of the humanitarian values of a great society and our welfare system. None less than that. You are the guardians now. If you are not there, it will be lost. And no one could have chosen a better resistance. We are knights who fight with the strongest of our weapons, conscience, compassion, intelligence, and reason. And they know we outperform them in all of this by miles. So let's make sure they can see and hear the human wave of resistance that is rolling towards Parliament, not losing a single person and picking up more and more people and momentum, joy and anger, force on every meter of this way. And let's make sure they know we're coming. Let's start on the 20th of June in London at the big anti-austerity march, all of us, together with thousands from around the country. And everybody, welcome to the wave of resistance which starts today.